In one of my roles that I do now as event director on festivals, I'm then responsible for 20,000 people's safety and well-being. Like, I'm not just there having a nice time. Yeah, I mean, it's the best job in the world. We get to give people their memories and their moments. Mm-hmm. I know I've said it a few times, but there's just a vibe that you get at a music festival that you can't get anywhere else. If the sun is shining, you're seeing your favourite DJ with all of your mates with a cold beer. Oh, yeah.
You're really setting the scene.
Come with me, we're going on a journey.
Hello and welcome to FairPlay, the Fair's new show exploring journeys through the magical medium of music.
Guests are asked to choose 5 songs which define their journey through life in the industry, whether it be a song from their first concert, the first act they ever booked, a guilty pleasure, and so many more.
I'm Nicky D.
And I'm Will.
For those who don't know, The Fair are an independent festival production company based in London but producing events across the UK, in Europe, the US, the metaverse and beyond.
We've created this show as we are keen to amplify a range of voices from across the industry. Whether it be from DJs to promoters, production staff to agents, we've been speaking to people from all across the festival sites.
We've attached a track list in the description below. Take a look and leave a comment.
So today on the podcast, we have the Fair's very own production director, Millie Devereux. Hello, Millie.
Hello.
How are you doing?
Yeah, very good, thank you.
Good stuff. Thank you so much for joining us today. For those who don't know, Millie is a very proud Londoner, a festival fanatic, and most importantly, as we've mentioned, production director at the Fair. Do you just want to give us a bit of insight into what you and the festival team do at the Fair?
The easiest way to explain what we do is whenever you go to a music festival, every tangible thing that you can see in that field, we've managed, advanced and produced. So we are the first ones there to put the fences up, build all the stages, and then for the live show, we put the security in the right positions for the stages, do all the traffic management, run the show, make sure the show's safe, and then take it all down and move it somewhere else. That's the easiest way of explaining it, I guess.
Yeah, that was a very summarised way of saying you do absolutely everything.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
Lovely.
We do quite an array of festivals, which probably most people don't know us for. We're predominantly known for doing electronic music festivals. We do a recruitment festival with Wreckfest. Worked previously with Saver Festival. So yeah, a lot of outdoor large-scale events is our bread and butter at the Fair.
Wonderful. Okay, so we're going to hear so much more about your incredible journey through festivals and events, but I reckon we should go straight into your first track for now. We'll set the scene. It's 2014. We're at We Are Festival, and it's your very first role on site as an intern. How is it going? What's going through your head?
At the time I was like, this is the most amazing thing. This is definitely what I want to do forever. I don't think I understood the gravity of that decision until you progress through it and get kind of go into different roles and that. But yeah, it was, oh God, how can I ever do anything ever again after doing this?
Yes, I can imagine it's a bit daunting when you've not really done that before. And I guess you've been to festivals before, but not as a...
Yeah, so I used to do bar work on festivals. So I started doing a lot of festival stuff when I was 17, 18. So that was the first year that I'd been as a event assistant. So I had an actual role in the management of it on site. And nothing can ever really prepare you for that first day where you walk on site, you're like, oh my God, I have no idea what I'm doing. But I had an amazing team of people that were teaching me and learning me and developing me, and you have an amazing team. And I think that's why people like working in festivals, because the people around you are very supportive. So I was a little bit deer in the headlights. But yeah, it was amazing, and I've not turned back, and I would never do anything else.
Cute. So you were how old again, sorry?
I was 20 at the time.
Okay,
yeah.
So you're 20. You've done bar work, you've done bits and bobs, but this is your first role in production, per se.
I was working for a company. I did my internship with them when I was at university. I studied event management at uni. The best part about the course was my internship, because I got to get a year of proper experience in the industry. So they take a break in the third year from teaching you at uni, so you can go off and get real work experience. And to this day, I will never forget that. Here's a really embarrassing, funny story.
We love those.
My first project that I ever started working on, my director at the time was like, oh, can you go and get a quote for plant? I was like, great. Looked at the budget from last year and was like, okay, cool. 3,500 quid. Like, oh, that's a lot of plants. Went on to B&Q, tried to rock up a bill for $3,500 on plants, only for my director to just burst out laughing and be like, no, as in like telehandlers, cherry pickers. But nobody teaches you these things. Like,
so
you don't,
true.
It's such a specific environment. There's not a rule book of like how to manage a festival. You can go to university and do event management, but it covers like weddings and conferences and loads of stuff. So when you go into festivals in your first time, you're just a bit like, everything is in a different language. I thought.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's fair enough. I probably would have thought the same prior to being in the industry, and I'm sure other people listening would have probably gone to B&Q as well. Yeah,
there's still things like, there's still words today that people will use if you get into like really technical rigging aspects, and I'm like, what?
Come again?
But then, that's because that word also has 4 different words for it.
Yeah.
So you can have head, CCB.
It's a whole language.
Police barrier. Like, they've all got different words and they mean the same thing. So it's just a different language.
There you go. I'm sure you're fluent in it by now. But we'll get on to the rest of your journey shortly.
Fresh-eyed little me 10 years ago.
But coming back to the track, I mean, what was it that made this track so special for you at that time?
So do you know what it was? And I forget now that it's that first moment of when you go on stage and you realise that you look out onto the crowd and you like, obviously I'm not singing, they're singing and dancing.
We love that.
But if you're standing side of stage and you take a moment to like look at the crowd and look at what you've produced. We Are Festival that first year was the first time that I'd done that. I'd never been on the stage, looked out at 10,000 people all enjoying something that I'd had a hand in producing.
Yeah.
So for me, the like standout moment for Fatboy Slim, which was at the end of the night, like I'd been working all day. We'd started at like 4 a.m. because the show opened at 9. So like it was a really, really long day. My director at the time was just like, go and enjoy yourself, like go and see Fatboy Slim. And I was just like, oh my God, this is so bad. So yeah, I was really grateful for that. And yeah, when like behind the pit barrier, went up on the side of the stage, like, and that was just like, oh, you don't get that experience unless you're going to be a performer dancer. Whereas I am not a stage performer, but I like the stage.
Yeah, it's just an amazing feeling, isn't it? Looking out and seeing all those thousands of people and knowing that you've enabled that to happen.
Yeah, I mean, it's the best job in the world. We have like tens of hundreds, probably in the hundreds if you count out all the shows that we work on, of people that will go away from a day at one of our festivals being like, oh my God, that was the best weekend of my life. And we get to do that. And that's the thing that I always remember. We get to give people their memories and their moments. Mm-hmm. So that was the first show was like, I get to do this all the time.
Yeah. Stage girly.
I don't get to go on the stages and dance anymore.
Oh.
That's something that you get to do as a
20-year-old.
As a 20-year-old, yeah. Now I'm like, I've got a free half an hour. I'm going to get and sleep.
Okay, let's play your first track. It's Fatboy Slim and it's Right Here, Right Now. Okay, so that was Fatboy Slim with Right Here, Right Now. Millie, you survived your first festival as an intern. You had an amazing time. It sounds like you smashed it and you absolutely fell in love with working in events, producing festivals. Where did it go from there?
From that point, it really cemented for me that I wanted to work in festivals, and my dream was always to get to a position of seniority working in large electronic music festivals. And yeah, I guess I just knew that was what I wanted to do and was like, cool, let's keep pushing this, let's keep working hard at this, and let's make sure I can make this a reality for my career.
Yeah. So you'd done uni, you'd done the internship. Did you go straight into a full-time role?
So I went straight back to the company that I'd interned with.
I'm with you.
And was there on and off for 6 years. And then I moved to the fair in 2019.
And the rest is history.
And the rest is history.
We love that. Obviously, the internship that we were talking about when you were at We Are Festival was over a decade ago now.
Thank you for that, April.
I love reminding you of that weekly. You've gained so much experience in that time and, you know, built yourself up to a production director at one of the largest independent festival production companies in the UK, which is a huge achievement. But times have changed, I assume, since you were interning. What would you say to anyone looking to get into the industry right now?
There's a lot more awareness about music festivals now. There's a lot more music festivals now than when I first started. The natural progression for everyone to start in festivals was to either do like an internship or artist liaison, because it's the one that everyone knows of to get into. I think what I would say for people now is like, just get out there, get on site. Like I did bars when I was like 17, 18, 19. That was how I knew that I wanted to get into the back of house production. So like if you immerse yourself in that environment, chatting with people, absorbing, like that's how you can figure out what you want to go into, because there's so many different roles to work in festivals. Like you don't have to be a production manager, you can work in tech, you could work on bars. My advice to someone that wants to get into music festivals is don't look at it so linearly as there are only 4 roles in music festivals. Like I must be the production manager or I must be the health and safety manager. Like you can go you can go in with the audio team, you can go in with the lighting team, you can go in with the bar team, like you can get into logistics of like fencing distribution. Like they still come on site and install the kit. Like it's not necessarily like I either have to work with artists or I have to work in production. Like there's so many roles that you can undertake that will allow you to work in music festivals.
Yeah, it's so true. I mean, as someone who hasn't been in the events industry for a very long time, it's quite surprising the first time you go on site and you see how many different roles are involved in putting the whole thing together. Even all the suppliers that we work with that might not even be in the production team, for example. There's so many different avenues to explore. A lot of people you speak to see the music and events industry as quite closed off.
Yeah.
But I guess, do you know of sort of opportunities or any initiatives that are there?
I think social media has actually been a really good thing for career aspects of the music festival industry specifically, because like you can go onto the Facebook groups and like people picking up job ads. A lot of it's freelance, like who you know. So it's about finding the festivals that you want, following the production agencies that work in them festivals, or like going to festivals and just having a look around and being like, what's that woman over there doing? She's moving a load of what looks like lights. Oh God, of course I can be the lighting tech. Do you know, like there's lots of different ways to get into festivals that don't just have to be, I want to work on artist programming or I want to work in festival production. A lot of the people that join us at the fair that are like kind of breaking into the industry, for want of a better word, have come from, I worked in bars at festivals. I did a couple of shifts as artist liaison. I did a couple of shifts as working as crew. That was how I got my internship at the previous company that I was at. I'd worked as a bar manager on festivals, and they said to me categorically afterwards, they were like, because you'd taken the initiative to go on site and understand how that back of house environment works, we knew that you knew what you were getting yourself in for. Because it's hard, like it's a tough industry, like it's long hours, it's hard work, but the payoff is phenomenal in terms of like the people you get to work with and the artists you get to see maybe 10 minutes of if you're lucky. And that, like, yeah, I mean, for me it's just the gratification of watching everyone have a really nice time and knowing that you've had that involvement. But
for people that don't even necessarily know people already in the industry, they can try a variety of things and maybe not be afraid to get in touch with companies, organizations, people in the industry. Because in general, everyone I've ever met, and I'm sure you'd say the same, is very friendly and open to helping each other, and it's not as maybe cold as some people might assume.
So we do the advice line, which is obviously, I love it. It's really been really nice. And I'm quite a chatty person. So I've never had a problem with going up, like starting conversation or talking to people, but you forget that like there is a lot of people that might not have the confidence to spark that conversation. A lot of what we chat about on the advice line is like, how do I get into the industry? And I'm like, just talk to everyone. If you've got a role on site that's, I don't know, site office assistant or accreditation assistant, on your break when you're walking around back of house, obviously don't, if someone looks like they're having a moment of rest, maybe don't hammer them with questions. It's normally like a 5-10 minute conversation, but I'm sure some of them conversations are really helpful. You've got to put yourself out there, even if
you okay
even
there,
if you're
Millie?
breaking the microphone.
And just for people who may not have heard of the advice line before, that is the Fair's career line, where anybody looking to get into the industry or progress their career in the industry can call the lovely Millie or anyone else on the team and booking, is it sort of a half an hour chat?
It's a half an hour chat, yeah. So it's predominantly with Yaz and Rob, our company directors, but myself and Sarah and Jan and Hannah and that have started also doing slots because people want to talk to different levels. So you basically call up, you get a half hour slot, and it's just like, what advice do you need about either getting into the industry, or you might have been freelance but you want to go full time, or you might not be getting the roles that you want to get. It's just, it's basically just to speak to people that work in festivals for 10 years, as you keep liking to tell me, April.
Okay, so we are going to move on to your second track of choice. And this time, this is a track from a set that blew you away. So we're heading to the fields of Bestival this time, R.I.P.
Oh,
Sad times. You were clearly quite a fan of Bestival. I think you went 3 times.
so I went to university in Bournemouth, and Bestival was the closest camping festival at the time to where we were in Bournemouth. So it holds an extremely fond place in my heart because it's where some of my best friends that are still my best friends to today, every year we would go for the whole 3 years we were at uni.
And what was it? I guess, obviously, it was convenient for you guys, but what did you love about it?
So what I loved about Bestival is, especially at the time, it was not the only one, but it was one of the only festivals that was really immersive, other than like Glastonbury, which obviously as a 20-year-old at university, quite expensive. So they had like all the different stage setups. There was areas where you could like chill and hang out. Like I remember the HMS Bestival boat stage, like that just blowing my mind. Like it was basically a massive, either converted boat or layer cladded boat that used to have like aerial performers that would hang over. It's really amazing. Yeah. And that particular stage was like in the sunshine. I remember going to see a hospitality takeover on the Sunday. And just for me, I'd never experienced something that was that creative in that environment. Like obviously I love the music side of music festivals, but I was like, oh my God, it's not just not that there's anything wrong with just a stage, but it's not just a stage. Like you can get involved in the performance side, you can get like working. I love things like that, like working out how the rigging will interact with the stage and where we can put things and where we can let people on. Like
you little nerd,
a bit of a nerd. Yeah, I'm a bit of a nerd. But for me, like that HMS Festival was the first time I'd ever seen anything like that. It really blew me away, and it creates, I think, like escapism in festivals is probably the reason that most people love it. Like you can just switch off from your job for 4 days, 2 days a day, and not think about anything than enjoying, laughing, drinking, eating, having a nice time.
Yeah.
So yeah, Bestival for me was just like, I always think about that as the reason why not the only reason, but one of the reasons why I keep doing my job. I remember me at Bestival, and I'm like, if I can give that to someone else, like, that's really great.
You're all actually very selfless people when it comes down to it. You sacrifice your whole summer just so other people can enjoy it.
Yeah, I mean, it's a weird one because you do sacrifice your whole summer, but you then have your friends that you work on site with. So it's just like being a seasonal worker. Like you do give up a certain period of time to spend more time with your other friends, and like the company, like some of the suppliers and crew that I've worked with my entire career. So it's like, here we are. Here's one of my best mates that I've been working with 10 years for. I have loads of fun on site with suppliers and with crew and with our team. You have to make it fun.
100%. Back to Bestival anyway. You heard this track at Bestival in 2015. It was actually from a DJ duo that you weren't really that into. You weren't too bothered about it, but you went to see them and it blew you away. Do you want to tell us more about that set? So
I wasn't massively into Chemical Brothers, and a couple of my guy mates were like, we have to go, you have to see them, like they're amazing. And I was like, oh, whatever. There's no one else really on that I want to see. They are, by the way, the best points of festivals, going to see someone that you didn't realise was now going to become your favourite artist of all time, because I'm now absolutely obsessed with the Chemical Brothers. I've seen them like 5 times. I'd never seen a production like that. Like, it was on the main stage at Bestival. They had these like 3D animatronic robots that like walked across the stage. Like the visuals were really trippy in a sense of they looked like they were coming out of the screen. It was wicked, yeah. And I think there's such a new trend in, especially like electronic performances being centered around the lighting show, content that's shown on the video screen matching what they're playing. And it's a lot of the time you can't see the DJ because they're one person stood at the bottom. If you're short like me, you can see the back of someone's head. So if you get to look up and look at a screen, I think that gives it an interactive aspect, yeah. We're
going to explore that a bit further, but first we're going to hear your track. So just to remind you, Millie, as well, this is the Chemical Brothers with Galvanise. Okay, so that was Chemical Brothers with Galvanise. You obviously touched on this a little bit before. Tech production is something that we've seen never stopped growing and innovating. We've seen popularity with things like Biceps Chroma Show and Afterlife and the Chemical Brothers, as we touched on earlier. The demand has never been as high as it probably is now. Where do you see it going?
Look, I think it can only get bigger and better. And I think a lot of this is also to do with electronic music and DJing as like an art and a performance is becoming more accessible for everyone and a lot more more popularized. So Eliza Rose had a pop chart, like a #1 single last summer. Like it's getting, which means there's a lot more support and that for DJs. And I think tech production is a way of elevating your music. You can't, like a band, if they play and they're running around on stage, you've got lots of different people to watch. So all performers find a way of elevating, whether it's a full dance show or a different decor setup. And I think with technical production specifically, electronic music plays really well into mixing visuals and lighting shows. And that's another way of being able to connect with your audience. But no, I think like with Chemical Brothers, like you know the tracks, but the reason I was so excited to see them for the 5th time is I know they're going to do something different. And obviously there's still nightclubs where you'll go and see an artist and there might be like an LED screen or something behind them. It doesn't need to be like hundreds of thousands of pounds worth of visual content, but just the way that people are now making lighting rigs and making visuals is giving the audience that little bit more of something to interact with and something to connect with. And again, like I said, if you're a short person, specifically Afterlife at Printworks, you can look up now and go, oh, I can see.
Yay!
Rather than trying to see like directly in front of you. So I think it's a good way of connecting.
Yeah, I never really thought about the short person thing, but it makes a lot of sense. So I guess, would you say there's now audience expectation there?
Oh, massively. Like a couple of years ago, you could put a plonker stage in the middle, play some music, and people would be like, yeah, this is amazing.
Woo!
Whereas because it's such a competitive market now and there's so many different electronic festivals with a similar pool of artists, festivals have had to find ways to differentiate themselves. So like whether that be by fabrications and creative direction, like storyline, or like different chill out spaces. Like another one of good innovation is technical production, like how as a stage you can interact. And I think Boiler Rooms specifically, who we work with quite a lot, do that really well because obviously they have the in the round set up. We put people on the stages, which gives me a massive headache, but it is really fun. So I think it's like, yeah, just finding ways to, technical production is a really good way to innovate your performance and your festival and connect with people and give them a laser show. The amount of times I've come away being like, oh my God, couldn't tell you one song that they played, but I loved the music and I loved the laser show.
Yeah.
Like it's now an additional thing that people want and expect, I guess, as well.
Mm-hmm. Moving on to your third track. It's a track that reminds you of being free.
This particular track is like the definition of freedom for me. And do you want me to tell you why?
Go for it. Tell me.
So I feel like I've not no prompts. It's such a warm one for me because I don't want to bang on about COVID, but it was the first show. So it was at Maiden Voyage in the year after the lockdown. And me, Jan and Sarah, who all work at the fair, was at Maiden Voyage, and we'd had like quite a stressful summer, and Red Axes were playing in the Big Top. And we were like, right, we're going to take 20 minutes to just go and watch Red Axes and just have a boogie and just like really like enjoy that moment. Yeah. So whenever I think about it now, I can picture like the three of us just like properly avid it.
Going for it.
Going mental. like me and Jan literally stuck our head in the bass speakers in the pit. There's an amazing photo of it.
I can visualize that.
But it was just like, for me, it was like, oh my God, I've waited all this time to start producing festivals again, start going to festivals again, like looking at everyone out in the crowd having fun. So like this particular Red Axes track really makes me think of being free, and whenever I hear it, it's just fun. Like, I don't know, yeah, warm fuzzy feeling. I know I've said it a few times, but there's just a vibe that you get at a music festival that you can't get anywhere else. There's a lot of things that come close, but if the sun is shining, you're seeing your favourite DJ with all of your mates with a cold beer. Oh yeah.
You're really setting the scene here.
Come with me, we're going on a journey. But I just think there's nothing, you just can't beat that feeling. Maybe other than a holiday. First
I don't
pint on the way to
know.
an airport.
Oh, God. That is actually a poll that needs to go out. I think
Yeah.
it might go on our socials next week. Pint at the airport or cold beer at a festival?
I would be very interested to see what that is.
We'll make it happen.
Because it would be cold beer at a festival for me.
100%.
Even though like
obviously.
an airport pint is great. It's a tough one.
I'm struggling with that. We'll have to dwell on that.
Stay tuned.
Yeah, stay tuned. We're going to reflect on that. This is Red Axis with Sun, My Sweet Sun. A lot goes into putting on a festival. I'm sure you'll agree with me.
Yes.
A lot of people, myself included, prior to joining the industry, might not realise just quite how much effort and time, just how much it takes, really. Is there one element of building festivals that seems to surprise or shock your mates that are outside the industry?
So someone said to me, I was talking to someone about my job once, and they were asking like, how do you do it? And I was like, I produce music festivals, I like design the site, I book all the kit, rah. And then he went to me, but doesn't everything just turn up on trucks?
And at that point you just
at that
stared
point
at him.
I was like, so when you build a house, doesn't everything just arrive in vans? Someone has to actually tell it where to go, or what you're ordering, or how many
Yes.
bricks you need, or
Yes.
where the plumbing goes into. It's exactly the same concept. And I think the thing that shocks everyone when I tell them what I do for a job, they're like, oh my God, that's so fun. You get to go to festivals all the time. I do not get to go to festivals all the time. I get to be at festivals all the time.
It's true.
But I think there's a misconception of how long it takes to produce a festival. Like we do this all year round. It takes 6 months to a year to produce each festival.
Insane.
Every year, like even the ones that we repeat do. And also that we're just all there partying and having a nice time. We're not just there drinking and hanging out on the stage. I know I said when my first role I got to stage party, and I'm not saying we don't get to enjoy ourselves and dance, but like on a live show day, I could do a 12-15 hour day. Obviously there's breaks in between that where you sit down and relax and like you have a couple of hours off and that, but you're still doing quite a long day. And I think there's a misconception that we're just hanging out. Like I'm responsible. In one of my roles that I do now as event director on festivals, I'm then responsible for 20,000 people's safety and well-being. Like, I'm not just there having a nice time. And sometimes some of the people that are our festivals might be slightly intoxicated, which also creates its own problems.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's a misconception that we're there just like partying and having a nice time, and it's actually really stressful. And we're looking after people's lives.
Tens of thousands of them, in fact. You were saying, obviously, even the festivals that you've been producing for years will still take a long time to plan, build, and actually run. And I think it's about the challenges, I'd say. Like, they seem to change. Even the time I've seen you guys on site, you never know. The challenges are literally unprecedented.
Every year there's a new problem. Like I've been doing this for 10 years. Every year there's a new problem. So it's like Brexit was a problem, COVID was a problem, like now the supply chain or like cost of living crisis, like the weather. Every year we're like, cool, great, we understand all of these things now, we've got this. Oh, great, now we're going to have lightning all the time on site. And I think they're the things that if you're not living it and not in industry, that you would never think would have that kind of impact. Like the other thing is just move the deadline. Any other job, you'll just move the deadline. We can't really move the deadline when 20,000 people have been sold a ticket and loads of artists.
We'll just do it next week.
We ain't got enough time. We'll just move it. Like it's just not how it is the most definitive deadline. You cannot move it.
And not even for the people going, but in terms of all the licenses that you have to have, all the dealing with council, things like that. So much behind the scenes that people don't realise is going on to make it the seamless experience that they have on the day. The point of this chat was that the Fair's documentary, It Takes a Village, shows quite a lot of this in terms of just how much goes into building festivals and the challenges that you guys are dealing with on site year on year. Do you want to tell us a bit more about it?
The Fair's documentary, we wanted to do something that shows people that love going to festivals but don't fully understand maybe or appreciate how much time, effort and work goes into it, not just by the fair but like anyone who works in festivals, again, like all the techies, all the fencing, all the crew. So it was to kind of give a bit of a like window into the backstage of all what we go through to make sure that the people attending the festivals have the most amazing time. And a lot of my, obviously like my family and friends have watched it, and I've had people come up to me in industry afterwards be like, wow, what an amazing thing to do and to show, and also quite a personal thing to do and show. That there's a line in it where I very openly admit how often I cry when I'm on site, which everyone's repeated back to me like, yeah, you go
That
girl, you
happens.
be bold, you tell people your real emotions.
That happens.
But it's really stressful. Like, you can be sleep deprived, or you have challenges with the rail strikes. And I think, again, what I was saying before, like, people think we just go to festivals and party and have a nice time. Like, a lot of time and effort and stress goes into making sure that them experiences are memorable, worth the money, and enjoyable. Like, it's not just something we wake up like, yeah, cool, we'll do a festival tomorrow.
Why not?
Why not? Yeah, I'll go and hang out for a bit.
Yeah, no, I think it does do an amazing job. And as you say, it's not just people from the fair or in production, but it's all the suppliers, it's the promoters, it's everybody has such a huge part to play. Given the increasing challenges, whether it be the cost of living or just the rising cost of putting on festivals, this highlights why festivals are so valuable and why they deserve more support.
I think, without being too political, music festivals, electronic music, club nights, any nighttime economy industry is underrepresented as a cultural part of England. Do you know what I mean? Like, there's a real cultural need for festivals and club shows and the nighttime economy, and I think we're looked down on as like, oh, the dirty, the drinkers. Like, it's not as beautiful as the ballet, for example. Therefore, it's not art and it's not culture. It is art and it is culture. Like, and I think the more people that are aware of the impacts that music festivals has on people's social and mental well-being, they'll then start to realise how much of that culture is important and how much that social environment and inclusiveness and community, because they create like a massive sense of community. Like, shows that happen in your area, like Boiler Room, for example, in Burgess Park, you have a lot of people that go to that show from that area, and they can end up at the bar talking to someone else that lives around the corner. I know this because my friends went and that exact situation happened.
Oh, that's
now
lovely.
they're really good mates with someone that lives on the same road with them because they were at a festival in their park. So that social, cultural, like, community environment is really important. I just think it's completely criminal how under-supported it is, under-resourced it is, and maybe even slightly misunderstood.
I think there are so many initiatives out there as well, whether it be other countries. I know that quite a few European countries give 18-year-olds a couple of £100 for a festival ticket, and that would be invaluable, wouldn't it?
Oh my God, something like that. Also, again, this is all my opinions, not opinions by the fair. A lot of 18-year-olds are not going to festivals anymore because they had COVID. I'm not saying this is the only reason, but because of COVID, they had a year and a half of turning 18 and not going clubbing and not going to festivals. Or it's really expensive, so they'd rather not spend their money on it. They're more financially aware, so saving for a mortgage or a house or whatever. So by giving 18 or 19 or even 20-year-olds, here's £100 investment into culture, however they choose to use that is then their choice. But if that culture fund includes music festivals, I just think it would inject such an amazing amount of new people into the industry, because they would go and experience something that they might not normally experience. I think that we need to, as a country, we need to support culture and environment a bit more.
Couldn't have said it better myself.
So yeah, come to festivals.
Come to festivals. So we're going to move on to your next track, and we're switching things up a little bit here, Millie. This is the best live set you've seen at a festival, but obviously you're an electronic music girly at heart. This has actually taken us to a bit of the rock and roll side of things. Do you want to tell us a bit more about it?
I love this. So this is Foo Fighters' Pretender. And I saw them at Glastonbury, I can't remember how long ago it was, a couple of years ago now, probably more like 6 or 7. And again, it was a similar situation where I'm not really into rock music. I'm much more of an electronic music sort of person. So all of my friends were going to see Foo Fighters. There was nothing else I wanted to see. So I was like, cool, okay, let's go and see that. Let's see what happens. And it just blew me away. And I think with artists like that, there's a lot of tracks that they play that you didn't even realise. Like, I was able to sing along to quite a lot of what they were performing, and you don't realise that you know the words just from like being in the car and hearing it on the radio. And It was one of them, again, their moments that you would only ever get at a festival. Like, there's no way I would have bought a ticket to see the Foo Fighters, but because I was at a festival where there was loads of other talent and loads of other artists, I was like, cool, let's go and see something that I wouldn't normally go to. And yeah, they just absolutely blew me away. They're incredible. They played half an hour longer than they should have. God knows what that did to the license. He broke the record for swearing that was held by Adele before. Like,
wow.
He did literally just stand there and go beep, 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 beep. I win. But yeah, it was just an amazing live performance and they're wicked.
That's really cool. And I think you made such a good point that festivals are the only space where you're not even into rock and you ended up, this was your favourite live set. That just says it all. And I think, again, going back to the investing in culture, not to make it all serious, but it's true. Going to one cultural event opens you up to endless other ones. And I think it's so important. You did get a bit emotional at this set as well, from memory.
I did.
Sorry, I've completely dumped you in it there. But I think it's important to say, if you're happy to say it, that you shed a little tear.
I think it's one of them moments where festivals catch you off guard. Like what I was saying, I wasn't bothered about seeing the Foo Fighters. I was like, oh, fine, I'll go if I have to. It'll be okay, I guess. And then when I actually got there, I'd never experienced anything quite like that, where I was just loving something so much. I had such low expectations of what the performance was going to be like because I wasn't into them as an artist. When it actually blew me away, it kind of like was a bit overpowering. Like it really hit a spot with me. And that is something you will only ever get at festivals, because you're not going to pay to go to a concert or pay to go to a big club show where there's like one artist or something like that, where there is, obviously you have headliners and support acts, but like I think with music festivals specifically, like you can have a chance to explore and try out different artists. And it just blew me away. And yeah, I did cry. I'm not ashamed to admit it.
Don't be ashamed.
We've established that I can cry quite a lot.
We've all shed a tear on site, don't worry. Okay, cool. So let's hear your track. It is the Foo Fighters with The Pretender. Okay, so we're already on to your final track, Millie.
Oh, that's sad.
Time flies. And it is a track that reminds you of why you love what you do.
So I feel like I might have cheated here slightly because it's more of a like sound bite.
That's okay.
It is actually a track, we checked, and it's DJ EZ's intro, DJ EZ, because, and I'll tell you why, we have DJ EZ play at quite a lot of our festivals, and there's just, as an artist, I love garage music. I grew up listening to garage music, so whenever I hear that sound bite on site, I'm like, oh yeah, DJ EZ's playing, let's go and watch a little bit of that. And it's just such a like banging, vibey, jump up set. He's just a wicked performer. Comes in, all the music stops, it's always very dark. And then you just hear that little DJ EZ and everyone's like, oh my God, here we go. Yeah, you just know you're going to have a wicked couple of hours of the set.
It's just iconic, isn't it? And it's always the same, so you know exactly what's coming. And when you hear it, you're like, it's happening.
Yeah, it's happening. Here we go. And I think it is that kind of mix of like garage, house, like he blends lots of different genres. There might be some commercial sound bites from pop songs in there, but like you always know that you're going to get like a very intense couple of hours of like screamers where he'll drop something and everyone's just like, wow!
Just sweat.
And he played Maiden Voyage last year in the Plant Room, and he was the last closing set. And there were just bodies everywhere, like jumping around, having a nice time. Like it was just 10 out of 10 wicked. So
were you bang on in the middle, just going for it?
Sadly, I was actually getting ready for egress, but I popped my head in and was like, DJ EZ.
And then just left.
And then Radio Jan, like, Jan, DJ EZ. So I mean, I can feel like I've cheated with this, but it's like a soundbite.
No, I love this. I think it's nice to have the full tracks, but so many people will have heard this at festivals, at DJ EZ's own gigs, and they'll feel exactly how we feel when we hear it. So yeah, Millie, your final track, DJ EZ. It's actually called EZ Intro 7.
Oh, there we go.
There you go. Cool. So that was DJ EZ's EZ Intro 7. But sadly, the intro is actually bringing us to a close on this one. Millie, it's been an absolute pleasure having you on the podcast today.
Thank you.
And yeah, keep smashing the festivals, keep shouting out about the industry, and yeah, I'm sure we'll see you on the Fairs channel soon.
Thank you.
Thank
This has been fun.
A huge thanks for tuning into FairPlay today. We hope you've enjoyed hearing tales from across the festival site.
Subscribe to the Fairs channel and follow our socials for more content.
See you next time.
Bye.